This is an introduction to using the tuning strategy, which starts by establishing an interval which I've called the main interval between slider setting at the extreme right here, full on if you will, and a slider setting at the fully left extent of its travel off, if you will. It's like tuning a guitar really, going from that position over to the extreme right setting. You can hear the consequence of moving from one extreme through an intermediate setting to the far extreme. We're going to set that interval to be an octave. It could be any other interval, and we'll look at choosing such a different interval later on, but for the most part I find it convenient to use an octave for that main interval. You set that octave by pushing everything down to the off position, all the other sliders apart from, in this basic way of doing it, one slider to the fully on position. I've chosen the first slider, and then using the scale control. Easiest to do when you first start doing this with a single bit pattern going through the Turing machine. Having established that pattern, you then adjust the scale control here until this interval sounds an octave. I'll demonstrate that now. Getting to an octave. About there. If I pull a few more sliders up to the same fully on setting, you'll hear the octave more clearly. And if I take that envelope off, you'll hear it more clearly expressed still. It's actually slightly flatter. I'll just try and pull it slightly more into tune. Now I've pulled it sharp. Flat again, just showing how twitchy this scale control is. That's sharp again. Still sharp. Flat a bit. That's probably good enough for the moment. Having set the main interval of an octave on voltages, let's look at an example tuning. One we'll choose is going to put a fifth on one of the sliders. We'll choose the third slider here. Go back to a single bit on the Turing machine to make it easier to hear. So we have an octave and a fifth. We're going to add a minor third. take the envelope off it's easier to hear. Release the Turing Machine to make a more interesting bit pattern. Voltages is now arpeggiating a -7 chord randomly, fairly randomly. Another slider from the off position to fully on will allow it to add an octave of extra notes, again from this -7 pattern, but a whole more octave of potential notes. If there's any imperfection in the tuning of those notes, it's to do with the fact that these original sliders quite well enough. It would tune the fifth and minor third perfectly. All of the rest of the notes and higher octaves would be perfectly tuned as well. So anything you hear in that higher octave that sounds iffy in tuning is to do with the original tuning of those first two notes, the fifth and the minor third. Concentrate on the first few important notes of the tuning. The rest of it will be perfect. Clearly it's not quite perfect here, but it's good enough to make the point. I'm enjoying playing with a ratcheting sound made by adding some delayed versions of the sequences here, and I can't help but do it now. Let's pull back this octave span that we added. And restrict the range even further